I want to know if you think that the OP is at fault in her current situation. This Reddit story was originally posted on Am I the A-hole and then got reposted on Best of Redditor Updates. Let's find out more. It's titled, In-laws Straining My Marriage, but it's my fault apparently. About a year ago, me, 28 female, and my husband, 30 male, allowed my brother-in-law, 19 male, to move in with us to get him out of a rough situation and help him start adulting. This was about May of last year. I agreed to have him move in with a promise from brother-in-law and husband that it was only for going to be a couple of months until brother-in-law found a roommate to move out with. He is also to pay some rent monthly as he has a full-time job now, keep his area clean, help out around the house. Keep in mind, I have 2 children under the age of 5 and also work, and I'm still the housekeeper, meaning cooking, cleaning, etc. While my husband also works about 60 hours a week. Fast forward those couple of months, no luck on finding a roommate. Brother-in-law still living with us. Okay, he's young. I'm just gonna give him some time to figure this out. I'm trying to be understanding and gracious as I also had some help getting on my feet at this age. I have confronted brother-in-law a few times asking, so how is the roommate search going? You found an apartment yet? Only to be answered with shrugs and I don't know. I will say at this point, I'm starting to feel in the dark with what's actually going on. As in, is there even a plan of him moving out? Is he even looking for a roommate or an apartment? Husband says just give him more time and that he's working on it. Frustrated, it's Christmas time now, and he's requesting to have his girlfriend of 2 years who live out of state to move into with a promise that she has a job and they will move out in 1 month. I tell my husband that I'm not comfortable with it as brother-in-law was not supposed to be here at this time in the first place. Husband says I'm overreacting and starts making comments of making me sound like I don't care about his family. Angry, I just shut down and keep my mouth shut to avoid the argument. My next mistake. Girlfriend moves in and surprise, surprise, doesn't have a job and claims she's been looking for one for 3 months now since living under my roof. Fast forward to now. Rent is not being paid anymore. The cleaning of their area have stopped, and there has been absolutely no trying to find a way to move out of my home. I quit asking brother-in-law questions to keep myself from being furious and directed the questions directly toward my husband. At this point, I'm done trusting that my husband has any plan or control in this whole situation, which is driving me insane. Anytime I bring it up to my husband, I've met with hostility and accusations of just trying to want to throw his family out on the street and that I shouldn't be upset with this because I agreed to it. Agree to what? Yes, I agreed to brother-in-law moving in for a couple of months. Yes, I graciously gave him extra time to figure things out. At this point, I no longer feel comfortable in my own home, and every day, me and my husband argue about it, which always turns into a very ugly outcome. We don't even sleep in the same bed anymore. I'm annoyed that I've been conned into taking on 2 grown adults while trying to raise my own family. I'm angry that I'm being made out to be the bad guy when all I wanted was to be helpful. I don't know what to do anymore. I guess my main question to Reddit world is, am I the a-hole because I let all this happen in the first place? OP, you're not the a-hole in this situation. You were just trying to be helpful and figured that helping out your brother-in-law out of a situation is the right thing to do. Your heart is in the right place. But your husband is the a-hole in this situation. He should have stepped in and be like, look, brother, when are you planning to move in? We only agree to having you for a couple of months. From the sound of things, it sounds like brother-in-law, girlfriend have no intention of moving out. And your husband is enabling this behavior. So I understand where you're coming from. I understand that you're frustrated, you're angry, and you just feel like you made the biggest mistake of your life. In a way, I understand. I get it. This is supposed to be a temporary situation that seems like it's turning into more of a permanent thing. Honestly, right now, I feel like you need to kick out your brother-in-law, his girlfriend, and your husband at this point. Seriously, send them back to their parents if they still have them. Because at this point, the only adult in this entire house seems like you, OP. You also have your own family to take care of. You mentioned that you have 2 children under the age of 5. So you're juggling a lot. You're working full time, you're taking care of your kids, and now you gotta deal with 2 grown adults living rent-free, basically, freeloading off of you and your husband. And your husband's not even helping. So basically you are supporting 3 grown adults, actually. Because your husband is just letting whatever goes. And your husband's saying that that trying to gaslight you to say that you're trying to kick his family out. No. Husband is just enabling this horrible behavior on your brother-in-law. He's never going to learn. He's never going to move out because he has no consequences. He needs to know the consequences. So you got to kick them out. Anyways, let's see what some of the commenters have to say. First commenter says, it is your fault you allow yourself to get into the situation because you have no backbone and you're allowing yourself to be treated like a welcome mat. You need an adult meeting with the 4 of you. You need a timeline when these adults are leaving your home. If your husband doesn't support this, you need a timeline when you're removing yourself and your children from this environment. You need to follow through. You're not the a-hole now. Okay. At first I was like, ooh, this is not turning out to be good. OP responds by saying, thanks for the honesty. I do feel it is my fault for allowing it to go this far without any real action on my part. I guess this is a learning opportunity for me to not internalize my feelings until it's too late. Another commenter says, not the a-hole, but that sounds like a terrible situation. Something you may not have considered. If girlfriend or brother-in-law go the legal route because they have been there long, they could actually fight being evicted. Your husband is the a-hole in this case. Tell him he has to clean up their area, make their dinner, etc. Any food they eat should come out of his spending money. Yes. Another commenter says, you have a husband problem. Get into marriage counseling. Find alternative housing for you and the kids now if counseling doesn't work out. Take your kids and visit family or friends for a couple of weeks and let him sort it out with his brother, and then tell him the condition that you will return home is when they are gone or you won't return and you can divorce. Yeah, I kind of agree to this. Another commenter says, not the a-hole. You are effectively a doormat for your scheming and conniving husband. Either take the kids and split or throw the husband and freeloaders out. If you don't, you'll be in the exact same position 10 years from now. Yeah. So the OP does provide an update. Let's get into it. So the update goes, taking everything into consideration, I gave my husband an ultimatum last night, and I'm sticking to it. They need to be gone by June 1st, with all rent paid according to how I had it laid out, or else I'm moving out with the kids into an apartment. I'm also not cooking for them, just enough for me and the kids. All laundry, detergent, and toiletries will be kept in my closet, and internet passwords will be changed. Now, before I get 2 months is too much time for them, hear me out. This is also time for me to get my ducks in a row should I actually be moving out, which in theory, I know by mid-May, if they aren't moving out, they don't have anything lined up by then. I really do doubt my husband is wanting this to actually happen. Me and the kids moving out, I mean. But I wouldn't put it past him thinking that I'm bluffing. All in all, I would hope it doesn't have to come to that point. I am happy to learn, though, after sketching a quick budget, that I would be able to support me and both of my children with my own income if worse comes to worse. Thanks again. You know what? Good job for you, OP. It sounds like you have a plan. Now you just need to stick through it. Let's see what some of the commenters have to say about this update. So, let's see. So, one of the commenters wants to know, Well, what did your husband say after you told him this? OP responds by saying he was surprisingly not as hostile as he usually has been. I say not as because there was no yelling or swearing. He pretty much said I was overreacting and crazy to think that would even need to happen in the first place since they'll be out by then. If you can see my eye rolls now, shake my head. A commenter says, yeah, he doesn't believe you have any intention of actually leaving. I would let him know if you leave, there will be no reconciliation and you will divorce and demand the house to be sold. So one way or another, they will be moving out. Ooh, that's pretty good. OP responds by saying, I do see what you're saying because I thought about how to go about selling the house if I leave. I will be honest and say that at this exact moment, I'm not looking for a divorce. I'm willing to give him the opportunity to at least try to salvage the mess he created. Unfortunately, it might take me some stepping out to realize what he messed up. On the other hand, if it does turn into divorce, at least I'll already have me and my kids established in a new place. Wow, it sounds like you do have everything planned out. Another commenter says, based on how your husband has dealt with this situation, I hope he is not calling your bluff, but be ready and good luck. Another commenter says, I think your husband thinks you're bluffing and he's trying to con you again. He might say they'll move out and then guilt you for the next 2 months. And then in May, he'll tell you that they need just a little bit more time. Be prepared for more bargaining and guilt tripping. Do not negotiate with them. I wish you luck. I hope your husband chooses well, not the a-hole. I agree. I hope OP's husband makes a right decision and put on his big boy pants and kick out his brother and his girlfriend out of the house so they can become a family again. Just OP, husband, and the 2 kids. Anyways, best of luck, OP. I hope everything does work out. And if you guys have any advice for the OP, leave it in the comments section. And remember, if you like these types of stories, to continue to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys later.